All right, good morning. Today is July 17th of 2024, and just going to be going over the previous day's price action as well as the outlook for the coming day. So yesterday I was definitely wrong on bias. I was short up here, took profit at 25%, got stopped out on the rest, so break even. Um, yeah, the reason why I was short here is because I saw these highs get taken, and this was known as a three-bar pattern. And when you get a three-bar pattern, the third bar is usually the one that begins the distribution lower. And it did here, but obviously it did not create any new lows. So that price once again came back up, swept again. So I'm taking this as a three-bar pattern today. So today I'm expecting for the draw to be lower. I did take a couple of micros yesterday overnight once I saw this and had a stop above here. So whether I get stopped out or not, who knows? But I like my risk reward because my risk is obviously a new high with take profit down here at these relative equal lows. So today I won't be trading. I won't be trading on ES because I do expect to hold these for the next couple of days or however long it takes for price to come down here. If I get stopped out, then that's fine. At least I got stopped. Um, and so yesterday I did. Let's take a look here real quick. So yesterday I did end up taking one contract and was able to cover at 50 points. Um, that was just because I completely messed this one up, and a rule that I always follow, but a rule that I always talk to myself about, but I never follow. Well, I try to, and I will today, is that whenever you have relative equal highs, you don't short in front of that. You wait for price to draw higher, sweep that high, and then you get in here. So that was my fault. And then price came down here into the 4 hour. So this is known as external liquidity. On the lower time frames, external liquidity after it had swept these lows right here. So it came out to external liquidity down into the 4 hour gap. Once that did that, um, one of the stages of price action is that it's always consolidating, rebalancing, or taking out old highs and lows. So once it took out this old low, what is it supposed to do? It's supposed to rebalance. So during this rebalance, I had noticed during the 11 o'clock macro that price already swept these lows, this old low down here somewhere. I don't know exactly where, and then price came back up. So where is price likely to rebalance to? Price is likely to rebalance to 50% of the range right here. Okay, and so what do I wait for? I don't get in down here because obviously it's past the macro. So I look at price here. I see price create a market structure shift. Price draws higher. Obviously, it doesn't come down in to fill this gap, but it does sweep this low by a tiny bit. Let me just. Okay, all right. So maybe I was wrong. Regardless, I thought it did, but I did end up getting in here, and I took profit up here at 50%. I did not want to wait until here because obviously what happened afterwards, price drew lower. So once price drew lower, I had wanted to get short up here, and unfortunately we didn't get that short opportunity until after the close, actually going into the close. And obviously, what did price do afterwards? It drew lower. So what did it do here? It rebalanced at this FBG. So now what is it seeking? It's seeking external liquidity. External liquidity. So I do expect to see a gap down today. Not necessarily a gap down, but I do expect to see price draw lower. If for some reason it came back up here, then I would expect for price to rebalance this whole gap here on the 15 minute. and then for price to draw lower afterwards. Same thing here. Took out this high. It has this gap here to get below. So I do hope that it did get draw lower, because again, price is always either taking out highs or lows and or rebalancing into inefficiencies. So right now, again, we are in the inefficiency rebalance phase of this move. Whether it bounced up, drew higher from here, I'm not sure. But again, I do have my stops up here, so we'll see if I got taken out or not. Again, I'm not, down here is my were my targets. So we'll see if it happened. So let's go into the 60 minutes to see what price is doing. On the higher time frames, we are generating liquidity or consolidating. Same, they both mean the same thing. So we'll see what price did. All right. Outstanding. All right, let me just take my yeah, I'm gonna close it there. Uh Jeez. All right, and I'm out. Okay, cool. Wow. All right. A lot better than what I had expected. Um yeah, wow, that's freaking amazing. Okay. I probably should have taken this one too because um yeah, it hurts that I wasn't able to get this whole move. So, where are we right now? Well, we just took out a low. So now it would be logical for price to rebalance, right? So the most obvious rebalance where we would look for price to rebalance would be up here somewhere, either here, yeah, here. Why is it not giving me? Oh, that's why. The 50% of the range. Okay, so we already drew below this low, so we can get rid of this. This is the current dealing range on the hourly. So let's go ahead and lock that. I'm not going to use the midnight open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the 08 open. It's there somewhere. Wow, I can't believe I actually got that. Because yesterday I was actually short up here. So yeah, I'm happy for today. I'm not trading. Actually, I'll go over the state of delivery here real quick. So yeah, we have these gaps here on the hourly. Actually, let's take a look at the daily first. Okay. So my bias for the week was that we do need to come back down here, back into discount or extreme discount to see if price draws higher afterwards. And that's what we're doing. We're getting a pullback in the markets. On NQ, we just traded below this weekly gap that we have created. So I do expect a small up move before price resumes lower. Same thing here. This is a daily. No, this is a 4-hour gap. But I want to see price draw into here at least for this dealing range to be to be set so I can get long. Same thing here. We already are at equilibrium, but I want price to come down here or somewhere in this area to see if price draws higher afterwards. Okay, so as it stands right now, the draw for me is this low. This is the next draw. I see no draw here, so this could be the next draw. I'll get rid of this one because we just took out this low. So this is the previous week low. So it would make sense for price to draw higher afterwards. I have an idea of what I'm looking for, but I'll go over that here in a second. Okay. All right. So again, this is my current draw right now on the daily. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Here we go. All right. So as it stands, this is the 4-hour. right here. This is the 4-hour gap. So, and this is the other 4-hour gap. And I'll get rid of this. I can also get rid of this. Oh man, it hurts that I was actually looking at this. I was looking to get short here, but unfortunately we didn't. But you know, obviously you can't win them all, and this one is a big win for me today. Um, Actually, how many did I get? I'll go over it in a second. I'm happy about that. That's why. Um, okay, so again, we took out all of this liquidity. So naturally, we would have to come back to rebalance into some sort of liquidity pool, um, which is why I'm jotting these 4 hours. I don't think we come all the way up here. Yeah, I don't think we do. So let's keep doing it here. I only like shorting after price has invalidated a declining dealing range. So right now this is declining. So there's no reason to get short. But once you zoom into the lower time frames, you'll see what I'm talking about. And we are within this gap. So again, we took out a high, and now we rebalanced into an inefficiency. So now we should go higher from here. But again, I'm not looking to trade longs unless there's a good setup on the 1 minute. Yeah, and I'm not even going to take that chance after today's win. Okay, so we do have these imbalances right here, these imbalances, but I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm not gonna pull the trigger just yet. We do have a tiny imbalance. Actually, we don't. No, not there. Well, we'll see. Let's zoom into the 15-minute. We'll probably see something else on the 15-minute. All right, so I think I see something on the 5-minute. Okay, so we have this down move after we took out these highs, so now we are seeking external liquidity. So I would expect for price to draw a little lower and then for price to rebalance afterwards. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. Here we go. So we took out this low over here. Yep. So maybe this low I would expect, but who knows? So let's zoom into the 15-minute. So today my target entry would be in at the 0830 open, which would be right around here. So I want to get short anywhere above this price range. Here we go. Not looking at the charts overnight helps me with keeping my objective wherever price may be heading at that certain time. Let's see here, 0845. So this is the 0830 open. So yeah, I want to get short anywhere above this area. As long as I'm short above here, and as long as there's a setup, then I'll look to get short. So yeah, in the 15-minute we have a draw lower. We have inefficiencies up here. This is a 1 hour inefficiency, so I wouldn't be surprised if price sweeps this high and then draws lower afterwards. Same thing here, sweeps this high and then draws lower afterwards. But again, I don't see anything as of yet. I don't see anything as of yet. Right now, we are still taking out liquidity at old lows. All right. Yeah. So this is the current dealing range on the lower time frame. So again, what am I referring to when I say I'm looking for the dealing range to get invalidated. I want price to completely come up here and then draw lower afterwards. But I'm not going to do it on the first try. What I'm going to wait for is, let's see. Yeah, this is the current dealing range right here. All right, so yeah, this is the current dealing range. Current dealing range. So if I do look to get short, it'll be up here somewhere. Um, and I'm looking for the same setup as I noticed yesterday. Oh man, if this had been swept by 1500, then we would have had that. We would have gotten this move here, but we didn't. And I was watching the market here, and I wanted to get in here too, and unfortunately I didn't. But I should have. But again, unfortunately I didn't. Um, all right. So again, we're still drawing lower, so we're still taking out the lows. Um, so once we get that up move, what am I looking for? I'm looking for that rebalance. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for that rebalance, unless it was this right here. If this was the rebalance, then yeah, we are obviously we did already rebalance into this area. So yeah, we're right now we're taking out liquidity after the rebalance. Um, so I'm not looking to trade at the moment. We had expansion overnight, or distribution, whatever you want to call it. I think it's distribution. Yeah, we had distribution overnight. So when you get a day like this, you don't want to trade until after the 13:30 macro, or actually the 13 macro, because that'll be after lunch. I only say 13:30 macro because afterwards, that's when you start making the plan. But I do suspect 1300 will be a factor today. So I'll just leave it as is. I'll leave this for now. I'll leave it. I'll just let it. I'll just let it be. I'll let price draw itself. Show me structure. Show me where the liquidity pools are, and then use it to take a trade in the afternoon. But as it stands, I'm not looking to trade. I'm not looking to trade this session. But what I will do is I will paper trade this one. Let me just make sure I change the accounts to paper. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, simulator. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, all I'm doing today is I'm paper trading until the afternoon session. 0830 open right here. Okay, so we just took this high. See these relative equal lows. So if price draws higher, um, then I'll look to get long down here somewhere. We'll see. And if we draw higher without taking these lows out, then that makes this possible trade later on even better. Because what that tells me is price was these are like footprints of the market makers, and when you see these and they don't get swept, eventually they will over time. Similar to this right here, it did sweep this high obviously, but the sweep was very shallow, so that in itself is a relative equal high. And so you look to get short up here. Obviously, at this time, I was not thinking about that, and that's something I definitely overlooked. But I was able to make, I think it was 7 points we got here. Um, I should have kept the rest, but eventually, if I had entered, because I entered on this 1 minute, on a 1 minute setup here, eventually it did sweep. And so if I had kept any other contracts, I would have been stopped out. But there was a setup for 11 o'clock macro that worked out pretty nicely actually with a cover up here. All right, so yeah. Okay, so like I said, just watching for now. Watching to see where price is. Again, we are at a 4 hour here. So let's see what price does. It might just be so that price flushes all of this all the way through here. Ugh. Oh, where did I enter? Okay, so here on price, actually it was the 5 minute. Okay, so this was the open. I know actually this was the close. When price opened, which was here at 1800, it's here somewhere. I was watching this candle right here. Actually, eventually it did become an inverse. Right. So what was I looking for? Price. I noticed that price closed down here. And when price does that, what do you start looking for? You start looking for inefficiencies in this area. Found one here, found one here. But since price had already closed below here, I had decided to take my shot right here. I actually got in right here, right, with a stop up here. So what's that? That's about a 6, 7 point loss if price had not worked out in my favor, and price never came back to visit that price range. And again, when you have relative equal lows or highs, you target those areas. Why is this a relative equal high, relative equal low? Even though it doesn't look like it, if you look at the Sunday open, price opened here, drew lower, created a weekly low, right, right below Monday low. So now you have two daily equal lows for Sunday's price action. Actually, Sunday was up to here. So this was Sunday's, and at this time it was the previous week, the current weekly low. And yesterday, price respected that area, respected this area, drew higher, took out this, and then drew lower afterwards. Um, so yeah, that's why I targeted, and I left it all alone. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's dial in and see what happens on um, on the bell. I think there will be setups here. There will probably be setups here where it, it signals to the buyer or seller that you have a possible short entry. But I don't want to get short here. I want to get short up here. So we'll see what happens. I just hope I get that opportunity. And we just swept that low. ES hasn't. I mean NQ hasn't yet. So let's see if we reverse from here. And it is the time seems to be falling into place, because if price draws higher from here, then I do suspect for this to be my entry if I'm to take a long entry, because we have 3 bar pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. It does make more sense. I actually got short on the fourth sweep, so it does make sense that it'll do that again. Um, and we do have this gap here. Actually, these gaps here. This is a breakaway gap. Price drew higher afterwards. Take out. Well, it actually didn't take out any highs. So it makes sense for price to draw higher after this. So if it does, then I'm going to go ahead and take a long. So we'll see. And I'm expecting fast price delivery. If it doesn't, then I'm not even going to think about it. And if this low gets broken, then that trade idea is gone. So we'll see. I mean, granted, it might still draw higher, so we'll see. But for any entry, you want to look for you want to look at displacement. Okay, 1 minute to the open, and since we drew a new low, where is yeah? So we might draw into 20205, which was the July 3rd low. All right, let's see here. So now we can bring this. Actually, no, it stays up here. This, though, we can bring down here. And this, we can also now bring down here. Okay. All right. Well, we're still drawing lower. Running Q at least. Okay, here is yes. All right, so we are getting that 1 minute setup. Um, there's no way I'm getting in right now. Let's see once the minute closes, how it closes. All right, so I'm pretty sure if you zoom into the 30-second, you might see a good entry in here, but I'm not looking to take that entry. All right, so we might get a better entry here on NQ because price is drawing higher here. So let's just watch. We just swept this high here, and we are drawing higher. Again, no setup here on the 1 minute, but we'll see. It would be nice if we got us, a draw into this area, because then that would allow me to get in here. 60. Okay, so let me set some orders below 60 on the simulator again. All right, so I got some sell buy orders at 60 and 59. The overall high time frame trend is bearish, so when you trade against the trend, it's not advisable. But again, this is paper, and we do have a setup, so we'll see. The odds are less in your favor, I mean. And we do have SMT with ES. All right. And I didn't get that. I didn't get that entry. All right. One final push down. Come on. All right. Ah, damn. I didn't get it. Okay, so let's bring this down again. We might still get it here on NQ, so we'll see. Actually, yeah, out of curiosity, let's take a look at the 30-second. No, 30-second, I meant, not 30-minute. There we go. There we go. All right, yep. So no entry on ES either. Yep, no entry. This would have been the entry if I had been trading on the 30-second to watch price draw higher afterwards, but nothing as of yet. It does kind of hurt that I didn't take it though, but it's fine. All right, so NQ is still also, yeah, NQ is still generating, not generating, still taking out liquidity. So if price is to reverse, it might be here. So we are about to take out this liquidity here. And if price reverses afterwards, then I wouldn't be surprised. But again, I'm looking for price to take out this high. If people were long here, they were most likely covering up here, which is why you're seeing some sort of resistance there with these wicks. But again, I would expect price to keep drawing higher. There we go. So now I just need a gap here. I need price to put in a gap so I can get in. No, don't. If it takes out this high, then this trade idea is void. Let's take a look at the 30-second. All right. Okay, so this is a tiny gap here, but I don't trust this 30-second. And if it draws higher, then that's fine too. I'm just not interested. There's just not enough structure for me to make a logical decision. So I'll just let it be. Again, because we had expansion or distribution over overnight during the Asia London sessions, um, price is most likely going to just consolidate for the rest of the week, rest of the morning session. And once we have enough structure in the afternoon, and we see clear liquidity pools below or above um, imbalances, then we'll look to see where price is likely to go. My bias for the week was that we would draw into discount or into equilibrium of the 4-hour dealing range, and that's what's happening at the current moment. I did say it was going to be Monday and Tuesday, but obviously it did not happen. It's actually happening right now. So whether price reverses below equilibrium, it would be the second part of my bias when I came in on Monday. All right. You know what? Let's go ahead and zoom out because I'm not seeing price do what it wants to do on the 15 minute. I mean on the 1 minute. So it looks like price is continuing to draw lower. It might continue to draw lower here, but I'm not looking to get in because I actually didn't pay attention to it. Let's take a look. We might see a good setup or what looks like a good setup on the 1 minute, but that's just a way to get people to go into the market blindly. All right, so we are drawing to take out this low, so we'll see. I would love it if it didn't, because if it doesn't, then that just adds a bullseye to this price line. Because if it reversed here and just basically consolidated during the morning session, um, yeah, that would be a bullseye for later on for price to take the objective later on. So yeah, I don't want this low to get taken. If it does, then I would like for a very shallow, shallow break. So let's just keep watching. Okay. Okay, so anybody who's short is probably short here because they're looking for this low to get swept. So we'll see if this trade works out. If it doesn't, then we might see the um, entry for anybody who's looking to get long. Let's see. And again, we rebalanced into an inefficiency. So now what are we doing? We're seeking lows. We took out this low. If you zoom into the 1 minute, the 1 second, you'll probably see a setup here. And if we continue rebalancing lower, then that's fine too, as long as and I guess the final target would be here. So we'll see. And we are getting close to the 10 o'clock macro. So the fact that it's slowly drawing into this area is starting to make sense. Let's go ahead and take this out. The lower price gets, the least likely I am to want to short later on. Uh, because my idea for the weekly bias was that I wanted price to draw into this area so that I can get long. So if that happens today, then that'll actually be good. So staying away from the market is the right decision right now. I'm just hoping that it doesn't sweep right now. And we just rebalanced this whole weekly gap here. I didn't add the drawing because I didn't want to, but as you can see, this is the gap. I only drew the consequent encroachment, which is 50% of the gap. So now that it drew below this, I can get rid of this. So my target entries to get long are in this area right here. But again, I would hope that price reverses here before it sweeps those lows for me to get a second chance of going in. Uh, all right. Okay, so we're about to sweep that low. Technically, we do have SMT with ES and NQ. ES did not reach a new low, NQ did, and we're about to sweep that 205 area. Again, I'm hoping we don't, because that is a bullseye for a trade later on. And we are 5 minutes away from the macro. There we go. All right, so price did hold here. Oh, okay. No, I still did not come into this area. So if I'm to get long here, which is starting to look like a good setup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, right? So I would like one more sweep of these lows into this area where I want to get in. And we are seeing the setup here on NQ. I want to see displacement above this area, a gap created, and then I want to get in on the gap. Yeah, I'm starting to like it. I'm starting to like the setup. And the displacement, we are getting it. It all depends on how the next three candles close. If this is a displacement. But if this isn't the displacement leg, then no entry. This just might be the last leg before the final flush and then the displacement higher. So we'll see. As long as this high does not get broken and price reverses, I want to get in here. Because again, we are at equilibrium here. Below this area is equilibrium. We have a gap here, breaker. So it's a good candidate if I want to get long. Come on. All right, so we have 1 minute until the macro. And this, I don't know. It might be the displacement I'm looking for after this right here. It would make sense to get one more sweep though, because ES still hasn't drawn into that discount area. But if we don't, then I guess that's fine too. We do have a gap here. So yeah, but I don't like that entry. I like it here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are long here, but not me. I don't want to get in on that area. And the macro is starting right now. Okay, so now two things could happen. Price will either displace higher, offering an entry, or quick sweep and then displace higher. But if it draws lower, then that's fine too. Like I said, the lower price draws, the more likely I am to start looking for a long setup. Yep. As long as this doesn't, again, sweep this high, then this setup, this entry is still valid. 60. All right. Let's go ahead and set some buys there. Where is it? 60 right here. There you go. Okay, let's get that sweep. If we get that sweep, I want to see that displacement higher. But if price draws lower, then I'm hands off until it gets to the 20120 area. So about 50 points below this. So ES, like I said, ES is at that 4 hour gap. So it does make sense for price to retrace higher from here. There is no such thing on NQ. I mean, except for the weekly gap. But yeah, here we go. All right, so no entry here. Looks like it wants to head higher and sweep. Okay, so it is coming back down. So trade ID is still valid. So this might have been the entry right here. And Q is not doing anything right now until I see displacement. Staying hands off. Now I'm seeing displacement. Okay. All right. So trade idea on ES is done. Didn't get that entry. I'm looking for ES to sweep these highs now. And Q is displacing higher. So I want to see 3 consecutive candles with the one in the middle creating that gap. And if this low does not get swept, oh, that's beautiful, because then that, again, that gives me a high percentage short opportunity later on once there's enough structure. And oh geez, we're getting a wick. I don't like wicks, especially if I'm looking to enter. All right, so no trade. We do technically have a change, a market structure shift right here, but I don't like getting into a trade unless there's a gap. Technically, this is a gap, and I maybe should have taken that opportunity, but I'm not going to do it. Uh, Not unless I see a clean gap. And we just hit extreme discount, extreme premium here. All right, so maybe one final push down because we are still within the macro, technically speaking. We do have relative equal lows, so we might get that sweep and then the reversal. ES, I'm completely hands off. So NQ is the only one I'm interested in right now. So we did trade back into this imbalance. So we're still seeking out old lows. So we'll see. Price may come back down to this area, but I'm less interested. I'm actually not interested. because it already took out this high. It took me a while to figure out why you don't enter after it's taken out a high, and that's simply because it's literally taking out liquidity. And like I said, price usually does a couple of things. It generates liquidity or consolidation, and the other one is it's taking out liquidity. By that I mean it's taking out sweeping old highs and old lows. Oh, and the third is rebalancing into inefficiencies. So retracements, basically, if you don't know what rebalancing means. Yeah, I don't like that gap. This gap right here does not tell me anything because even though we do have change in the state of delivery, I don't like that it's down here. All right, so we left the gap here, so that just gives me more footprints. Again, want to see this get swept. We're still within the macro, 10 minutes till the macro's over, so we'll see. All right, let's see how. I am very against taking this one, but it might be worth it because actually, let's do it this way. Because this in itself is already a dealing range as well. So there we go. All right, so this might be the look I'm looking for. Well, the sign I'm looking for. We get a sweep. Now let's see what it does now. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Again, paper today, so I'm not looking for much. Well, there we go. All right, so let's get those buys ready at 60. All right, come on, come on. All right, so I'm in at 60. It didn't really. Sometimes it's weird. There we go. Yep. All right, so I'm in at 60. We'll see. Oh, wow, it's actually this one right here. I thought this was extreme discount, but it's actually this one right here. So let's see what price does now. Okay. And where's my stop? My stop is if price gets below this breaker here. Why did I take that out actually? Let's go ahead. Yeah, right here. Okay, so again, we are within the macro. So now we're looking for a reversal higher. The only thing I don't like is that price did displace lower through here. What I wanted was a shallow sweep and then for the reversal. So that's not happening. So we'll see. Let's change the color. I don't know why it didn't. It's not saved. It's weird. All right, so that's the breaker. Let's go ahead and change the opacity on it. Um, all right, let's save it like that. Okay. All right, so that's it. Actually, it's not this one. It's this one right here. There we go. All right, let's see what price does here. Yeah, it's definitely displacing lower. I'm not gonna like it. I mean, I'm not liking it. Uh, I would be, yeah, this right here is definitely displacing lower. So if price is to reverse, it'll happen now. I don't want to see price even come close to this area. Okay. All right. I don't want to see these candles. I don't want to see any wicks of any kind. I just want to see aggressive up moves. When you get something like this, if the reversal is not aggressive, then it's not likely to happen anymore. All right, come on. Okay, so my targets are this highs right here. Where do we trade to? So we are almost at consequent encroachment here. So we'll see what price does if it draws into that area. What's this? That's also 50% of the range. So let's see. All right, and I'm out. That was a quick stop, actually. All right, so since the overall trend is bearish, it makes sense that price did not work out here. If price was reversing on ES as well, then it's likely to have reversed. Yep. And is this? Yep, that's the constant encroachment. Okay, so now we are in the area where I want to see the reversal happen. So as it stands, this is the dealing range, and the move is actually happening a lot quicker than I had expected. So I'm being mindful of that, and we are still within the macro. So let's see here. Okay, so it is totally plausible that price still reverses here. So I'm keeping an eye on that. If it doesn't happen within the next 2 minutes, then I have to take it. I mean, not take it. I have to call it and be back for the 11 macro. All right, so we are within this gap. This is where I wanted to get along. Maybe one final push down here. Yes, ES is not getting anything. I do want price to hold above this 4 hour, so we'll see. Ideally, I wanted to get along here, but it's price is too far. This would have to, yeah, it would literally have to come all the way down here, sweep these lows. Okay, macro's almost over, so looks like I might not get that entry. All right, so the macro's over. I didn't get that entry I wanted. Well, I did get that entry I wanted, but price drew lower after that. That's because the overall trend, the higher time frame trend, is bearish. But we are expecting a reversal. We are expecting price to hold this area and set up a reversal of some type. Um, the only way I'll get long, well, I'm no longer looking to get short. Um, Now I'm looking to get long because we are in the area where I expected for price to reverse on the weekly. And we are about 40, 20, 42, 20, 42. Yep. We did leave these two little gaps here, and they do, let's see here. They do, they do fill up eventually. Not immediately, but they do fill up eventually. So those are little factors. But anyways, that's it for the day, and I'll see you tomorrow.